Hello everyone and welcome back to another Mara stock chart planning update video. I haven't posted recently as much as I normally do just because I've been live streaming, and I'll go over this as well during the live stream. So if you guys jump on there, you can always ask me if I'm in front of the computer at the moment, and then let me know and I'll go over it as well. But I've been having a lot of fun with that. So but I have a video here now, and I want to address something. Basically, the chart talks, right? The chart tells you everything that you need to know. And that's what I feel everyone should prioritize instead of and then as a secondary, right? Not as strong as a priority, but then look at, news, because there's a lot of news that's been coming out, very bullish news, and it's influencing a lot of people to buy, no matter what. And the way this factors into Mara, right, with Bitcoin and buying and all that, is Mara is being sort of influenced by macroeconomic stuff that is then, it's quickly recovering from it and stabilizing where it should be once again. So basically what I'm trying to say is I'm going to go over why I haven't yet taken a position on Mara. I don't want to go short. I want to go long. But I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm looking for, why I haven't taken a position yet, and then, what my personal expectations are. So with that being said, let's get started. But everything I say in this video is just my own personal opinion. It is not financial advice. So please keep that in mind. Mara recently, it was influenced, and it's been influenced to rally a whole lot. Once Bitcoin rallied up all the way like this, and it came all the way up to here, especially this last move right here, and it influenced Mara to want to pump up even more. And this has to do with Donald Trump taking office in the U.S., which is very, very good news for a lot of reasons, but one of them is crypto, and of course mining company Marathon Digital Holdings. It was influenced by this because they hold all Bitcoin, and they're a big player in it. Now, regardless of the overall larger picture, because a lot of people also believe that, well, just because every bull cycle has been lower does not mean this one has to be lower, and they are doing a much different job. They're running differently, and they're more profitable than they used to be. They were pretty much in the negative back then. And of course, yeah, that is true. That's why we didn't see basically sub $1 prices. We actually found support just underneath $3, and then we started rallying from there. But the reason I am not going to be one of the people that believes like this cycle can be different and we can see it pump up a lot more is because Mara is still a young company, and it is still diluting its shares to be able to grow and be able to sustainably stay profitable and continue to grow their finances over time. So until they can secure that trend in the sense of like being able to not have to do that as much, being able to shy away from it, and being able to sustain themselves a lot more without diluting, then I'm going to assume that the potential bull market cycle top is going to be somewhere between $45 and $65, 45 and 65. That's a really, really good estimate at the moment, because again, I understand they're doing a lot better than they used to in the past, and they're holding Bitcoin a lot more than they ever have before, and they're in the profit, and they're doing great. But until their diluting kind of trend changes, I'm still gonna. This is still my bull market cycle top, and that's just my own personal opinion. But everyone is always free to share their own. When it comes to the short-term picture, we all know that Mara rallied up, of course, from everything I just said. It rallied up. I was wrong about two things. I was actually very confident. I didn't take a short position or anything. It's just not worth it. It's too narrow. But I was very confident that we were going to see this sort of come back down and trade around the $16 to $17 level before pumping back up into this area, because we started seeing higher lows and higher highs being formed. This also this trend right here, we saw a lower high form, and then I was, in my head I'm thinking, oh, we're probably going to see a little bit of a triangle pattern, and then we're going to fill in this imbalance, and then eventually from there push up higher. I was wrong about that. No, we pushed up higher. And then the second thing is, I did say that it could push up higher, but that's what I'm looking for. And if it does push up higher, I don't think, it can potentially trade between 0.5 and 0.6 before it, on the fib, before it comes back down. And no, it actually completely passed it, and it traded even higher, getting pretty much close, or actually breaking $26 briefly. So I was wrong about that. But now this is where I stand on the stock, right? I'm gonna try to make it simple because I tend to repeat myself, and kind of like talk in circles. But our RSI overbought. We're coming down. We came down into this imbalance. We didn't fill the majority of it, but we came down into it. Okay, cool. The RSI is reflecting that it wants to, fill in more of the imbalance, before potentially finding a bottom. So now, with the RSI potentially wanting to come down a little bit more, and then, filling in the rest of this imbalance, we also have a move, that we can see on the 1 hour. Was it the 1 hour? Yeah, so basically from the top, and you can kind of see it, if I highlight this, you can see the dots. Starting from the top of the swing high down to where we found a bottom right here, and then a little bit of a rally before coming back down. So from here to here to here, you can see that on the 1 hour, fairly well. And then if that creates this one red, extension down here. So this is where I stand currently, right? I want to see this price come down a little bit more to fill in the more oversold portion of the RSI. So come down a little bit more, fill that in, and then we can go ahead and lock in a little bit more of this price imbalance, this gap right here, fill in that value where the moving average is as well. And also in that area right here, this is where we have previous resistance, which can act as support as well. On top of that, the reason I want to see this come down a little bit more, and it's looking very possible, time will tell, and potentially with the possibility of this being filled as well, and it's coming down again one more time at least between the 1 red and the 0.35 green, is the possibility that Bitcoin is actually looking to retest previous supports down here. This support, fill in a little bit of that blue once again, which of course, why not? Because we had such an aggressive rally. Now it's trying to consolidate. We can potentially see even, I don't really like to go off of these too much, but you have a, how can I say this, like a little bit of a head and shoulders pattern. So we come down, we can see this consolidate a little bit there, and then come down in a little bit of a head and shoulders pattern that way. A lot of people will even say that this is already a head and shoulders pattern and it's coming down. It's very ugly, but I don't really like the way that looks, but it's still valid, and a lot of people believe so as well. And then we can find support right here, in the $85,000 area once again, or at least low 86,000, potentially 86.5 is reasonable as well. But if we come down just a little bit more and fill in this blue just a little bit once again, because it is looking weak. We were previously in a higher low, higher high scenario. Now we created a lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, and it looks like we could potentially keep coming down a little bit more. If that were to happen, and this is where we just have to be patient and keep an eye on stuff, is that basically, if that were to happen, and any weakness whatsoever to the short-term negative side on Bitcoin can lead this to further fill in this imbalance right here. I'm not saying we're going to go down here. I'm not saying that. But it can fill in this a little bit more, and then the RSI can finally go into the red below 30 RSI right here. And that's what I'm personally looking for. I hope that made sense. I hope that makes sense. Also with Bitcoin, we have plenty of resistance, liquidation resistances acting as walls on the on the biggest exchange right here with BTC USDT on Binance, and then nothing really currently as of this moment, nothing down here indicating that there's strong support. So if the heat map, if I'm reading it right, is indicating potential a little bit more red, like why can we not see that blue being filled a little bit more, right? And then we're halfway through the month basically, and we're up 25%, and that's looking real good. And so maybe a little bit of a correction before we start pumping up higher, and finally reaching 6 digits will be awesome. Because my next leg up on Bitcoin is my estimate is right here in basically 100k. Once we pump up and start moving higher. But as of right now, I want to see this come down a little bit more. It will prove Bitcoin to fill in, become a better value. And then potentially I'll probably be buying BITU if Bitcoin comes down a little bit more. I do not have any positions tomorrow right now. I'm not convinced. I want to see this come down a little bit more. It will create a much more clean entry for me. I'm not saying this will be filled. I'm saying it's very possible, because there's a lot of value right here. But at a minimum, I just want to see the RSI get filled down here. So that's what I'm looking at. And then same thing with MicroStrategy. I'm gonna be serious right now. Any weakness on MicroStrategy is a really good buying opportunity, in my opinion. And we have some weakness, so it's a really good buying opportunity. But same thing with MicroStrategy. Potentially, we've been pumping up a lot. So if Bitcoin were to have that little bit of a consolidation, this price can either come down just a little bit more, or consolidate sideways a little bit more. And it's a good buy opportunity right now, regardless. Any lower prices, it's great to accumulate this stock. Regardless of this big pump, I believe we still have more room to run. And I guess next time, maybe on tomorrow. No, if I do a live stream tomorrow, maybe, or whenever I make a video again, I'll create a new rally resistance area for basically the next target, because this target right here, this bigger one, was filled. As you can see, we've been looking at it for a while. It's been filled, and now we're trying to see where we can go from here as well. So yeah, one more time, Bitcoin is looking like it wants to correct a little bit more. I don't see why not. It broke below the 50 down here. I don't see why it can't reach that 30. Retest that yellow once again, possibly, or at least get near it. And then it might take a while, honestly, but I could easily be wrong on that. And then with Mara, I want the RSI to be a little bit more flirting with that 30, just so I can be comfortable with the stock. Right now, I'm not too comfortable, so that's why I haven't bought. But let's see what happens. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Hope you enjoyed it, and take care.